Hello everybody and welcome to today's video, Getting Tidier for Christmas. I hope you've had a lovely day and the first few clips show what you can see in today's video. So I'm doing a lot in the lounge, I'm doing a lot in the hall, I'm doing a lot of sorting and generally trying to get tidier for Christmas. At the moment I would say it does feel like a bit of an uphill battle, because we've got about 3 seats free in the lounge, but otherwise the floor is covered in the lounge, in the hall, in the dining room, everywhere. But today's challenge does relate to Christmas, and it's to declutter some items from your Christmas displays, from cards that you've kept, things to do with Christmas that is now time to get rid of. So this video again is some real-time sorting and some times 5. So as I said, today's challenge is to go through some Christmas decorations and get rid of some. Whoops. I've got things that I just got too many of these tins. And they're lovely, but what's the point of keeping them so many of them? You probably won't be able to hear me now, will you have done that? So that's a nice book that we're going to keep. This is what I got for Christmas present for someone. Oh, it smells quite nice. Oh, little owl. Put that away. Oh, that's good. So today, me and my daughter were looking at ribbons in Hobbycraft. And I said, no, let's not get them in Hobbycraft. Let's get them on Norwich Marketplace, because the way that I look at it as, if you get them from a small independent retailer, when you buy something from them and you use cash is even better. But what you're paying for is you're paying for the owner to have their grandchild or their child have swimming lessons. You're paying for them to have roast dinner. You're paying for them, you actually directly are changing their lives. Whereas when you buy something from Hobbycraft, you are, yes, of course they employ a lot of staff, but you're paying for shareholders, you're paying for, you know, big bucks for the chief executive, etc, etc. So I said, no, I completely forgot that I've got a bag of ribbon. Wow. I bought this from somebody who was moving house. They wanted to get rid of it, and I thought, oh, it's a bargain, I'll have it. And of course I haven't ever really used it, but that'd be perfect, because me and my daughter are making soaps to give for presents for people. So that would be perfect. So I'm glad I checked that bag. Right, we've got some rubbish here. This was the other one, which was a present from somebody. Don't need that. Bin. Oh yeah, they're a present for somebody. Oh yeah, they were a present for somebody. What's this? Wires. Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Heaven and earth rejoice, let heaven and earth. Right, I better not keep singing. Tape. It's gone a bit. It looked like it was stains. Is it stains? Oh, this is. No, it's not. But I need to use that up. I need to stop taking it up and down the stairs, up and down the stairs for Christmas. Now, what's this? Oh, something else I got as presents today. Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that. Right, so that's for my mum that I got from Amsterdam. And this is for my mother-in-law. Oh, they're nice. So actually, there's not much to get rid of here. This is good news. For you, sister-in-law, birthday message. It's too late, her birthday was last week. Never mind. Oh, I can't give that to her sister-in-law. I might as well give that to the charity shop. Because my husband would always get one to sister. I haven't got any other sister-in-laws, have I? That's true, isn't it? That's true, isn't it? Look, I bought this. I'm never going to give it, am I? No, right. Okay, so I'll give that to the charity shop. My charity bag's getting a little bit hidden. Getting a bit untidy here. Getting a bit disorganised. Whoops. So that is a bag of Christmas stuff that's going to the charity shop. And this is my charity shop bag. It's getting a little hidden. Oops. Excuse me. He's making a list. He's checking it twice. Lights. Christmas socks. An angel. What they're in there for? I think we can get rid of that. It's too heavy for the tree. That's the problem. It's too heavy for the tree. It's Christmas socks. Christmas socks, and that's why basically this bag ended up being a load of random things. Can you actually see? I don't think you can see me now. But that bag ended up being a load of random things. Yeah, you can see the bag, but you can't see me very well. Obviously these were all washed and they just ended up being thrown into the bag. Piece of tinsel. Now, I feel that sort of thing I feel like I need to keep. Not anymore. Oh. They're nice. Why did I get them? Presents. Oh, little dog. I think we got that for my mum. Didn't give it to her. Right, so that's everything in this bag. Now this is a good example of the sort of thing that I keep hold of. So these are thank you cards that I'm pretty certain I bought in 2010 when I went to America. Because in America they have, in my view, they have much nicer thank you cards. Like these cute little animals, the sort of thing that I love. And then as a result, I haven't used them because I like them. Now you can see all these are all pretty much used, a couple that aren't used, but a lot of them are used gift tags. So those ones haven't been used. Where's my gift tag container? So there's a used one, used, unused, unused, unused. Used, used, unused, unused, used. And all these lights, the reason why I'm keeping all these is for the bulbs. That's why I'm keeping them all. Let's use one. And then all these gift tags, my daughter made them for school, and she had some left over that we didn't sell. Look, loads and loads of them. Anyone want to buy some gift tags? Look, loads of these have been used, and I'm keeping them. Give them back to the people. That's what I should do, isn't it? And they can use them again. I think it's partly because I hate writing gift tags though. I don't know. Right, so that's from us to our daughter. Us. I don't think I'm going to give that one back, because I'm not going to give that one back. Might use that one again. Us for our daughter. Us. Oh, whoops. That was not. I'll put that to my sister. Give that one to my sister. Oh. All these, now does this make me a bit of, is this make me a slight hoarder? What do you think? Wish you a Merry Christmas. Oops. Which one was that one? That's my sister. I don't know what people are going to say when I give these back. Why are you being weird? Merry Christmas. I'm not going to use that. Charity shop. Don't like that one. Blank. Oh, some of these are ready to go. You see, I cut up the cards from last year. I've got too many really. Don't need all these, do I? What's that? That's nice. Oh, it's a card from my daughter. That's my mum. Wish you a Merry Christmas. Tuck those ones in there. So you could see there I went through quite a lot of Christmas bits and pieces, and you can still see I'm doing the same in the video. There's lots of things that I put in the bin. There's a couple of things that I've given to the charity because they're things that we don't want anymore, but things that I know the charity shop will be able to sell. Obviously, I need to get them to the charity shop pretty soon so they can definitely sell them before Christmas. I was also trying to put a lot of things like with like. So I'd got Christmas ribbons in different places. I'd got gift tags in different places. And there was also, it's a good reminder to me because there was lots of gift tags there. Some that I've already written out, that I've already previously used that I can use again. And others that I've already sat and cut the Christmas cards out and put the string on. And that's something that I actually find quite therapeutic at the end of Christmas. And that helps me get rid of Christmas cards. I go through the cards. I now only keep about 4, like family cards. And they're often the ones that I've had like through the years. And then all the others, rather than feeling any sort of attachment to them, I then cut them into gift tags. Put the bits in the bin, the backs in the bin, put the rest of it in the bin. Then I punch a hole, put some string in, and they're ready for the next year. So I think because I've got into that habit, I then don't have Christmas cards in a pile sitting around, and I don't keep cards unnecessarily. And you will see in a little while, I have kept things unnecessarily. I've kept things that my daughter has made, things that I'm attached to, things that you can't, that there's one thing that she made in first school. It was lovely. The idea was that you pulled a little sort of hoop that was like a paper chain. You pulled one of the chains off each day, and there was a little message. And because I liked it so much, we never used it, and it used to hang up. But now it had got into such a state, it really is nearly falling to pieces. So I said to her, did she want it anymore? And she said no. She sort of like looked at it like, why are you asking me, Mum? But what I've done is I've cut off 2 of the hoops, which you can read what she's written. And one of them says house time. It's supposed to say house time, but she spelled it H-U-U, house time. And something else, which, 2 things that she liked at Christmas. So I've just kept those 2, and the rest of it has gone in the recycling bin. Because there's no point keeping things that are all broken, even if you have got an attachment to it, or you sort of makes you feel emotional or of a certain time. You literally cannot keep everything. So thank you so much to those of you that have been adding comments to my channel over the last few days. I love reading your comments. I get a lot of good ideas and a lot of suggestions from your comments, so I really appreciate them. So I'm going to go through a few of your comments. So the first comment is from Cami. Now, if you're not already following American Wife, if you put in American Wife, Cami, what I'll do is at the end, I'll put a couple of clips so you can make sure that you're following the correct American Wife, the correct Cami. Me and my daughter are watching a couple of her videos, and honestly, I was in hysterics when she was trying to clean this windowsill. But she's doing the challenge. So Cami's American, and she's been following me for absolutely ages, and I very much appreciate her support in the challenge, and I love seeing her version of the challenge. But there's a couple of things that she said, just me and my daughter were like, at one point I had to stop and get my daughter to calm down a bit, because if she giggles too much, then I always worry about her asthma. I was like, right, let's just take a moment. And then I started laughing so much that I started coughing, and you can probably still hear I'm not still completely back to normal. And so my daughter was going, pause it. You keep coughing, Mummy, pause it. It's very, very funny. But Cammie's put, Emma, I must tell you every day the things you say make me think we're somehow related. When you said you would go to every single performance, that is exactly what I did with my son, who is a performer. He was a singer all through grades at school, middle school, high school and college, and to this day he's the worship leader at church. Oh wow, that's good. So Cammie, you brought him up as Christian, did you? Have you always been Christian? Or did you go to church like later in life and introduce him later in life? He's also been an actor in many, many musicals, including Les Miserables and on, and I will tell you I went to every single performance, and it never got old, and I will do so for my grandchildren as well. Oh, that's lovely. Alison Chamberlain says, oh Emma, you do make me laugh when you call it the lurg. Do your viewers from abroad know what it is? I'm 62 and at school we used to call it the dreaded lurgy. Now it is just called the lurgy. Alison in Chichester. And so I just replied and said, Alison, you know what I mean, and that's important. And Carrie then said, I wish I knew. So Alison Chamberlain has explained, and she's put, Carrie, lurgy is slang for flu symptoms, cough or a cold. It's in the English dictionary. Even now I say, don't come too close, I've got the lurgy. I don't know the history of the words, but I could look it up and see what the history of the word is. But it's really, like Alison said, if you've got cold symptoms or a cough, like unpleasant symptoms, but worse than just a cold. But do you know, we were saying the other day, when was the last time anybody just got a cold? I mean, years ago, honestly, I just used to have like a bit of a runny nose. No more. It's like a full-blown cough, cold, feeling ill. Just, you know, it's more now. And the doctors call it a virus, don't they? Well, I don't call it a virus. I call it the lurg or the lurgy. We often say this, don't we, though, that language is so interesting. So interesting how we use different words and the words that end up in the dictionary. Fascinating. Shirata Tam says, hi Emma, I hope you're feeling better and you got the rest you needed. Isn't it amazing when we move furniture? Out of sight, out of mind. I hear you read the TV saga. Why pass it on when it's no longer a well-working appliance? I think though, Shirata, that actually it's fine. It's just that it was never a particularly good quality when it was first bought. So it works absolutely fine. It's just probably that ours, although ours might be a bit older, ours was probably better quality when it was first bought. So the picture is clearer and the colours are clearer. Shirata says, I'm so glad that you're supportive of your daughter. What wonderful memories you share of her and with her. She's clearly a precious person in your world. I like to think that she'd be a dedicated cheer squad for her own children in the future, as she so chooses. Little completed tasks, the teddies. How lovely that you're so thoughtful. Looking forward to tomorrow's instalment. Oh, thank you ever so much for your lovely comments. I really appreciate your lovely posts. Karen Howard says, hard to believe you're feeling unwell but got so much done. Looking forward to you claiming the magic corner on your bunker back. Karen, the first part of that video I was okay, and then there was a big delay when I was unwell, and then I started again. So the very first part of it, I wasn't doing all that when I was unwell. So I then had a bit of a break. So the voice recording, there were several days in between that. And again, talking about language, where Karen says my bunker, a bunker is like what we had in the war, like say the nuclear bunkers, where you go deep underground. Then underground there's a big kind of open rooms, and there's actually a really interesting bunker not so far away from where I live that I was lucky enough to go to a few years back. Well, I say a few years, it's probably about 10 years. And you go down a really steep kind of ladder, and then once you get to the bottom, you think there's going to be a room like, say, the size of my lounge. No, it's like about 6 of my lounges. It's incredible. You just wouldn't believe it was there. Really, really interesting. So as I record this, it's Sunday. We've had quite a quiet day, really. We didn't go to church this morning because that would have meant setting an alarm clock, and we were all rather short of sleep. So we decided not to set an alarm clock, which was quite nice. And then we've spent the day at home. My husband's done loads and loads and loads with the Lego. I've done lots of stuff in the house. My daughter's done some homework. And then we still had time to start making our soaps. So we got the ingredients of the soaps yesterday, and I do add a really, really short clip at the end of the video. We decided to do lavender soaps. So we got the oil. We've got lavender that I got from the garden. And then my daughter's going to make some little like tags from Canva saying handmade and then by her name. And she's probably going to do them for, well, she decided to do them for like her grandmothers and aunts. And then I said, what about also giving a couple to her teachers at school, and she quite liked that idea. I think she's getting to the age where lots of girls and boys won't get presents for teachers, but partly it's kind of as much for me, really, as what it is her. I think if a teacher's gone out of their way for your child and gone over and above, then I think it's nice to say thank you, even if it's something small. So last year I looked to get some chocolates at Hotel Chocolate, the little sets, literally 6 chocolates. And then they were like £7 each. And I thought they used to always be £5 each, or like 2 for £10. And the silly thing was, because they've now gone up to, I forget what it was like worked out to be £7 each. I think £8 each or 2 for 17. And I know that's not a massive increase, but I just felt like that extra £4, I thought forget it. So in the end, where I've always got things from Hotel Chocolate for teachers and teaching assistants, last year I didn't buy anything from there. And I think I got a couple of teachers, I got them some other chocolate. I think I got one some wine, and I got one a voucher. But this year, I think there's probably 2 teachers that she'd like to get something for, and then there's 2 that I will make a point of getting something for them because they do go out of their way. I've also been trying to sort out things for my daughter and Duke of Edinburgh. So my husband went to the school meeting about Duke of Edinburgh because I couldn't go. So I thought, oh, that's quite good. He can take sort of a lead in that. And then my daughter was really, really keen to do it. And I said, are you sure? Because I feel like there's so many other things that she does. It seems like lots of her friends are doing it. So yes, she wanted to do it. My husband said about the amount of things she's got to carry, which, to be honest, because she's quite petite for her age, it sounds like she's going to have to carry her entire body weight in stuff. But no, she definitely wanted to do it. So I said to her a few days ago, oh, how have you got on? What have you done to start with that? She said, oh, well, everybody else has filled in all the things and I haven't done anything. I said, well, you need to get on and do that, don't you? I said, I'll help you with it. I said, have you asked Daddy? So there was this conversation between the 3 of us. Anyway, it turns out that what she really wants to do from a voluntary perspective, because I thought litter picking would be easy and I'd just go out with her once a week and we just get that signed off by the town council, the parish council. I thought that's easy. No, she wants to go to rainbows or brownies. So I bear in mind that I have given like 30 years. Is it 30 years? Yeah, 30 years I have volunteered for Girl Guides. So that's quite a long time, isn't it? So I thought that the people that I've known for years would be accommodating. That seems not. It's funny, isn't it? Because if that was me, I'd go out of my way for somebody else to fit someone in, even if we've got quite a lot of young leaders, quite a lot of volunteers. But that seems that I helped my next door neighbour. She's doing her Duke of Edinburgh, so I got a space at the unit for her, a local unit. Then another mum contacted me and said, oh, my daughter's in guide. She was one of my guides. Is there any chance that she could do voluntary experience of brownies for her Duke of Edinburgh? So I got a place for her. And then when I then reached out to these groups, one just said, no, we've got no spaces. And the other has not replied to me. I do think it's a bit complicated because of my daughter's allergies. But I thought, really, I felt like that was a bit mean, given how many, I get on very well with them all, but because that would mean them going out of their way a bit, and I guess one unit has got quite a lot of help already, and quite a lot of young, girls helping, so I do get it in a way, but I just thought, oh, why can't they just fit her in? Anyway, one of the local people suggested the Saturday rainbows, but the Saturday rainbows, they do a great job at running it, but I'm not sure they'd understand my daughter's allergies. And also, it's a husband and wife, and they're lovely people, but if I'm honest, I don't agree with husband and wife leaders. Because even with me and my friends that do guides, there's limited independence because we're friends. And when you become friends with another leader, then that means you're less independent in a situation. But a husband and wife, I don't think there's any independence there from a safeguarding perspective. And I'm amazed that that's allowed. And that's every other Saturday. And I thought, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure that I'd feel comfortable with them understanding her allergies. So that is obviously something extra for them to take on, isn't it? Something extra for them to think about. I do understand that. But I think if a young leader was, say, in a wheelchair, they wouldn't say, oh no, you can't come along to the unit because you're in a wheelchair, would they? Anyway, I messaged somebody else that I knew, so it's outside of our area. She's a really good leader and she used to be a nurse. So I messaged her and she said, oh, I'll consult with my team. And I thought, oh, that means another no. But she came back today and she said, yes, we can take her. And she can start January the 13th and do 3 months. I thought, I messaged her and said, oh, that's amazing. Thank you so, so much. I said, I do understand that there's you need all the risk assessments and my daughter's plan to do with her allergies and I can provide you all of that and do whatever you need. But I really, really appreciate that. So my daughter was really, really pleased. And she filled in the form online for that. And then also she's decided that for her skill, she's going to do her Italian. Because did I tell you all, we've entered her for her GCSE. So she's going to be sitting her GCSE in May of next year. So we just decided after my daughter's lesson a few weeks ago, was it a few weeks ago? Not this Saturday, the Saturday before. That was the first Saturday that I felt unwell. And I sat in the car while she had the lesson and the teacher said that she did the listening and she got a good mark and that she was ready. She felt like she was ready to be put in for the exam. Sort of partly the way that I felt was that if she does it, it's going to end up being 2 years early because she's currently in year 9. And I did think about, well, we could enter her in year 10, but then with year 10, she's going to start having mock exams. So I said to her teacher, well, if you feel like she could get, got a pretty good chance of getting a pretty good mark, if we enter her in now, then she won't have to worry about the fact that she'll be doing her mock exams and starting GCSEs. And the thing what she does find quite hard is if she spends a lot of time on Italian and then she does Spanish, she'll sometimes use an Italian word and vice versa. So I think that'll be good for her. She'll be able to sit the exam and she'll get it done, 2 years early. So we're really pleased that she's going to be doing that. And she's going to do that as her skill for Duke of Edinburgh, because you've got to do like a skill for 3 months or 6 months and you've got to set an objective. So her objective is to be ready to sit the exam. So what I'm now spending time is to just go through some of the specific themes and check the vocabulary. So for example, there might be some unusual festivals that she doesn't know the name of in Italian. Also some things that she's not so experienced in herself, she may not be so familiar with the terminology. So for example, she doesn't play computer games and she doesn't use social media. So if they had questions about using computer games and social media, her vocabulary might not be so advanced. So I'm doing some reading and writing with her. So she's got to do 1 hour a week. So I'm going to set the questions for her. She's going to spend an hour doing reading, writing questions, reading Italian books, Duolingo. That'll make up the hour. And then the week that she has her Italian lesson, that'll obviously be an easy hour for her. So normally I guess she has an Italian lesson probably once every 6 weeks-ish. But we're going to do it a little bit more frequently, just so the teacher can spend some time helping her with exam technique. So you can see the haul, it's getting worse before it's getting better. Oh my goodness. But I'm just so determined that nothing is going to go back in that box that I don't either display, that I don't either love or cherish. It's so silly, some of the things that I take up and down the stairs every single year. Not so much by way of ornaments, just other sort of knickknacks and cards and things, and I haven't yet even started going through the actual Christmas tree decoration box. And that's because I'm not getting the Christmas tree out whilst we've still got Lego on the floor. And that's why my husband has spent probably, don't know, good probably 2 hours, certainly an hour and a half, going through all of it today. So the pile has significantly diminished, but there is still a pile. And so once we get the Christmas tree out, once the Lego's done and the Christmas tree is out, then I'll go through the decorations box. And again, I'm going to be quite strict because there are some things you put on the tree, and often I think to myself, why on earth am I putting that on the tree? And I was talking to my husband today about family members that have decluttered things to us, and I was not aware. And I just took things because I thought, oh yes, I can use them, and it was free. I just took them. Whereas, of course, now I'd be very careful what else I take into the home. My mother-in-law sorted out her Christmas decorations years ago, and we had lots of different bits and pieces. And again, I just sort of took them and put them on my tree. Some of them I probably should have said, oh, thanks ever so much for offering them, but I don't think we've got place for them at the moment. But then again, we also got like a sweet little angel that my husband remembered, and some other pretty little things. So I guess it was nice to take them. And I do like the fact that the tree is made up of many different things and many different people. I've got Christmas decorations from lots of different family members on there. We do put everything and anything on the tree. But this year I am going to each item I take out of the box, I'm going to look at and decide, does that have space? And in the past, I've thought, oh, what's the point of getting rid of one bauble? Because one bauble doesn't make any difference. So it's actually, if you feel like that about 6 things, well, you've got 6 baubles, haven't you? And that takes space that you don't necessarily have in your home. Certainly, my Christmas area is not a large area. And each year, well, for many years, we got an extra Christmas decoration. So it all takes up space that you really don't have. I know some of you have got much more storage space than me, but storage is limited in my house. So you can see in the video, I'm in the lounge and I just decided to clean all the mantelpiece, dust the mantelpiece and get ready to start decorating. I just didn't want to put anything in dust. So I dusted the 2 little ledges and then dusted the top of it, and then put out my Merry Christmas sign. And you can see how my little glass table, you can't even see it's glass, can you? It's absolutely covered, and all the Lego on the floor. There are a number of things still at this point, there are a number of things in the lounge that I'm planning to sell. And so that's when I then decided, right, put like with like. I'm not going to now probably sell some of these things before Christmas. All the things that I'm going to sell, I'm planning to sell and not give to the charity shop. If I'm planning to sell them, they need to go up in the spare bedroom. So I did that for quite a few things as well, just to get them out of the lounge. They don't belong in the lounge, do they? If I'm not actually planning on selling them anytime soon. Okay, so I'm going to go through a couple more of your comments now. So Cynthia Miller. Cynthia says, hello dear Emma, as you said in 3810, England you say, I'm going to tidy up the lounge. In the US, we sometimes say, I'm going to pick up the living room. Meaning, we're going to pick up things that are lying around and put them where they belong, thereby making things tidy. Oh, that's interesting. So tidy still does mean the same thing. So you do say, I'm going to tidy the lounge, but you just don't say, I'm going to tidy up the lounge. That sounds a weird expression to say that you're going to pick up the living room, because to me that means like the BFG's hand is coming out of the sky and he's going to pick up my living room. But when I then examine our language, I'm going to tidy up the lounge. That sounds weird too. Fascinating. My eyes got wide when I saw what was behind your sofa and wondered how it all got there. Are things placed on the top of the back cushions and then they fall behind? No, they're not. Or are things on the floor and get shoved under somehow? Yes, they do. So what happens is sometimes if I've got particular papers and say somebody comes round and they're things that I need to action but not things I want people to see, I might just tuck them under the corner near where I sit. Sometimes there might be just like, I don't know, a travel book or something, you know, sort of thing that you get from a travel agent. That might go under. And then our laptops are what pushes things at the back. So we'll put our laptop under the sofa, and then as I do, I'm pushing the other things under. So that's what I think it is. So Cynthia goes on to say, today I cleaned out my utility drawer in the kitchen. I did it 6 months ago, but it had got somewhat out of order again. Here's what I keep in there: small tools, scotch tape, sellotape, nails, screws, thumbtacks, magnets, candle lighter, ruler and a tape measure. That sounds very organised. Do you not call it sellotape? You call it scotch tape, do you? We do have scotch tape as well. What are thumbtacks? Are thumbtacks drawing pins? I'm wondering whether they must be drawing pins. Thumbtacks. That sounds cool. Lizzie says, Emma, how could all of that made its way under the sofa? Did you find some of the missing Lego? I did, but only about 3 pieces, but still I was quite excited when I found those 3 pieces. Brooke says, I just had to laugh at how gently you picked up papers and put them on the other side of the sofa, but picked up the Lego and pitched them across the room towards the carefully sorted bins of Lego. Oh, that's made me laugh as well, Brooke, your observation. I was trying to be really clever, thinking that the piece, whatever colour it was, say it was a piece of white, I was trying to throw into the white container, and fabulously missed. I could give a psychological explanation for that, but I won't. I see a musical instrument in a case, but what is that box in the corner with a cord on the top? I'm just trying to think what it is that's there. There's not a musical instrument there. It's my poker set that I got for my 40th birthday. Now I think in the bit, oh, I know what it is. It's some sort of like DVD player or something. Got no idea. It's like some sort of DVD or video player, and piled on top of our video cassettes that at some point we need to put on some sort of CD, but then I worry about it going on CD because I think, will I be able to keep it forever? What if the CD or the DVD breaks and then I won't be able to watch it? But obviously whilst it's a video, that could get ruined, get spoiled, get damaged. So as a result, it's still sitting there. I'm always amazed with how much paperwork you have in this digital age. Oh, I see. Well, there's some things that I'm just trying to think what I have to have from paper, a paper perspective. There's some things I have to get like certain mortgage statements annually. Anything from solicitors will be all paper. Just trying to think what other paper things that I have there. Yeah, it's mostly things that has come through the post that I needed to file away or just do something with. I'm not sure if you've ever added a description at the bottom of the videos, but it would be helpful for those of us that miss what your challenge is. Either that or say it right at the beginning or at the end. Yes, that is true, Brooke, but the benefit is you have to watch the video. Sorry, I mustn't. If I laugh too much, I'll start coughing. You have to watch the video and then you have to hunt through the video to find out what the challenge is. That is part of the challenge. I should say that. So like day 7, the challenge is finding out what the challenge is. You make a good point. Rad Centre said that nook in front of the window in your lounge would be perfect for a small table and 2 of the refurbished chairs. You could use it for Lego building. You'd have to relocate the TV and the cat tree. Just trying to think what cat tree. Rad Centre has seen. Oh, I see. My plant stands. They think that's a cat tree. Yeah, I can see what you mean actually. Rad Centre. Maybe the TV could be mounted to the wall on a swing arm. Now, do you know that when we had the lounge in the other room, the TV was on the wall, and I did quite like that. And various people told me I should put it above the fireplace. There's no way I'm going to do that, because that makes the TV as a centrepiece of the room rather than my fireplace. If I didn't have such a nice fireplace, I might consider it. But then when we moved in here, we just never ended up mounting it on the wall, because you couldn't really in the same way. I suppose if we moved the room around completely, put the TV in that corner, but I quite like facing the TV towards the window, if you see what I mean. But thank you for the suggestion. As you can tell, I'm thinking through your suggestion and how it might work. Thank you. So thinking about next week, because it's Sunday as I record this. So tomorrow I'm not working, and I'm hoping that I'm going to feel a bit more normal. I definitely feel better today. I'm just still very chesty, quite wheezy, coughing a fair amount. My husband's not affected at all like that, so which is really good. So I'm hoping that I'll get rid of that. Monday, so I'm hoping to be able to do a few jobs. I did even think to myself about going in the city and doing some Christmas shopping, but I don't think that's quite a good idea. Then Tuesday, I've got a couple of meetings in the morning, and then the afternoon clear. And then Wednesday I'm working, Thursday I'm working, Friday I'm working. And then at the weekends, we've got a couple of things actually happening. So we're going to a big sort of Christmas production, which our church puts on. And my mother and father-in-law are coming to that as well. They did also ask, could we get tickets for my husband's sister and her partner? But my husband went back and said no, literally there were like about 15,000 tickets or something. There was thousands of tickets, but they literally went in about 45 minutes. So there were no spare tickets. So we're going to that. And then also my daughter's Italian teacher, her second teacher, the one who she had from the age of about 3 to about, oh goodness, how old was she? 8, 9, I forget. It's the one that we actually got to go to her graduation ceremony, which I was honoured to be invited. She now lives Coventry, Stratford-upon-Avon sort of way. Not Coventry, Stratford-upon-Avon. And she's come down to Norwich for a few days for Christmas, because she obviously lived in Norwich for a long time. And the person that she's married also was from Norwich. They went to Stratford-upon-Avon for her work. And now she's got her little one, her little girl. She messaged and said, did we want to meet up? And I said, yes, please, that would be lovely. So that's something to look forward to as well. So I'm right at the end of my video now, so thank you ever so much for following along. You can see I'm polishing the glass there. Unfortunately, where I use vinegar, it's caused some rust on the table, unfortunately. But thank you very, very much for your support, your encouragement and all your positive words and your likes and your hypes. And I'm going to leave you right at the end of the video with a little clip showing you the soaps that my daughter and I made. We're so pleased at how they came out. So I hope you find that interesting, and they're really quite simple to make as well. I think after this we'll definitely be making some more, and we'll do a variety of different fragrances and maybe even experiment with some colours. So thank you very much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
So just pour it
Are
down.
they ready? You sure you don't need to put it in the fridge for a bit longer?
No, it's been in the fridge for 45 minutes.
Right, okay. Oh, wow.
So I got the lavender set to the bottom.
Oh, they're lovely.
Whoa, it's like white at the bottom.
Well
And
done.
the rest
Do you know, I think it's better white rather than some fake food sort of colouring colour. Not food colouring, but you know what I mean, some colour. And then when they go in your little, in the netting with the ribbons, it's going to look lovely. Well done.